I'm back anyway. I'm only going to do a quick video again, another quick video. Well, I think I'm going to do another quick video. I'm going to try and do a quick video. I had intended to put the kayaks on, but again, it doesn't look like it outside. I guess you can't see really because I'm stood in garage, aren't I? It doesn't look like it outside. It looks grand, doesn't it? And doesn't seem very windy, but it actually is kind of windy. It's sort of blowing about a bit, and microphone's not doing very well, so I'm not going to bother that. I'm going to do something on these tyres today. Now, you know, I've fitted these Cooper Discoverer XLTs. I've got lots of videos on them, and we've had some disappointing experiences off-road, and I'll cut to a couple of clips of that. But it does, I have been trialling with some friends of mine who've got Duratracs on, and the Duratracs does seem to provide a bit more grip on snow and in sort of gravel, and I don't know why that is. And I'm going to flash up in a minute to two reviews that Canadian Tyre have done on the AT3s, and my experiences with the AT3s on the Range Rover were excellent, really, better than the KO2s and better than the Duratracs. There's a reason I went with them. But the AT3s on the Range Rover were what they call the 4S model, and I'm not certain that the 4S model has a different compound than these XLTs, because they've sort of let me down a bit, really. But I'll spin camera around and we'll have a look at a few bits and bobs, and we'll see where we go. Right, here we are. Look, here's I've got it lifted up in this should be the off-road height, but it's not. I've got it lifted up in the sort of I think it's off-road. Well, let's have a look what height it is, if it'll stay disconnected from the yeah, it's road height. Look, here we are. So we're on road height at the moment. I'll just lift it up into off-road height, and then we'll be able to get a bit better of a look at the tyres. So up she goes, or up he goes. Now, these Coopers have got a lot of miles on them, like a lot of miles on them. 18,000 miles nearly now. Well, actually, probably that's not fair. Maybe about 15,000 miles. Because as I've been driving them, I've obviously had them off at winter, but I didn't do a lot of miles this winter, and we have had some off-road work, and they have done about at least 6,000 miles on gravel road, so you can see they're not bad, are they? Anyway, I've got my fancy stick here that tells you how much they worn, and we'll have a look. So where does this line up? I can zoom this in here. He says I can. Let's see how that happened. Oh, hey, oh, look, I did it. Right, that is 12:30 seconds on the front tyres here, right in the middle. And we'll just try the outside to see if that's any different. No, that's pretty consistently worn all over. Oh, that's a bit deeper, look. That's nearly 13, 12 and a half, I'd say there. Oh, you can't see, can you? Because I'm looking at the thing. That's about 12, just there. 12 and a half, maybe. Let's just have a look at the backs. So these are they're just a hair under 12. Lighting's not great, is it? Hair under 12. Oh no, we're 12 bang on there, look. So just a little over 12, and then we'll go to the back, and this is brand new. Okay, so this is 14:30 seconds there. So in about 15,000 mile, I would say, maybe 15,000 mile, it's lost 2:30 seconds. And I don't really think that's bad at all. And as you can see, they're actually, I mean, we'll just go and have a look at this one here. They're actually in really nice condition. I mean, the outsides aren't chunked. There's no notches out the side here. I did have a look at a set of Duratracs with about 8,000 kilometers on them, and I'm talking miles, not kilometers. and they weren't anywhere near as sort of good a condition as these. The tread's not damaged. It's still got the lugs on the outside. Look, and you get a bit of like notching here. You know, they're a touch rounded, aren't they, where the edges have had some hammer, but they've done a lot of gravel work, and I don't think these are bad at all. But they don't seem to be gripping well, and that is part of the problem. To tyre to grip, don't you? And it's fantastic on the road. These Discoverer AT3s they're outstanding on the road. They're fantastic in the wet, at least these are. We had some very, very bad rain while we were driving through Vancouver. We might have expected it in Vancouver. While we were driving through Vancouver last year, and we got 5 or 6 inches of standing water on the Coca-Cola there. It was a nightmare, to be honest. And these cut through it. I never had any skittish, no hydroplaning, nothing. Did a very, very good job. And so I really appreciated that. And I know that the AT3s have been critiqued for not having very good sort of water dispersal, but I don't know that I could say that of these. I can also tell you that they're rubbish in snow and ice. Oh, bloody hell. That was close, didn't you see? Terrible. Noticeably worse, I think, than the 4S, so I am guessing there must be a compound issue, because my Range Rover had these on it, and the Range Rover didn't perform anywhere near as badly as this in the snow and ice, so I do think there must be a compound difference. They do seem to chug away at mud relatively well. I think a little bit. I found out the other day that one of the videos we have when we're climbing that slippy bank, and I'm cut magically to an attempt of me climbing that slippy bank. When we're climbing this slippy bank that you can see now, because you're not actually looking at me, hopefully, anyway, the tyre pressures I was running was 50 psi at the front and 52 at the back, and Richard has currently revealed that he was actually running 35 at the time, which is his standard road pressure, so there is a big difference in pressure. Now, I'm wondering whether that differential would make a difference, because that's, well, it was nearly 20 psi difference anyway. I don't know that my performance was much worse on the bank than was the Duratracs. Certainly a bit worse, but not necessarily much worse. And I don't know that it was much worse in the gravel, considering that my pressures again were 20 psi more than the others, perhaps. And we all know, I mean, there's been a large debate on some of my YouTube videos about pressures and how much difference they do actually make, and we all know that lowering pressures does give you an advantage in certain circumstances. That's without a doubt. But the performance on the snow and ice the other day, when Richard and I went out, was actually very poor. Now, that's on top of the fact that the DSC was sort of sticking itself in and making itself a bit of a nuisance. But nevertheless, the tyres were some disadvantage there.
Second gear, grass, gravel, snow, high range, okay.
Better, but I had a bit more momentum. The question comes, I think, in whether you're willing to offset that loss of snow performance, which normally wouldn't matter for me because I do have a set of dedicated winters. So I didn't buy these, as I've said in many other videos, I didn't buy these to be a winter tyre. I bought them to be an all-rounder, and they're not the best off-road. Sorry, not the best in off-road. Well, not the best off-road in snow and ice is what I'm trying to say. In the other situations, I don't think they're noticeably different. So I think resolving this debate would be quite difficult, because unless I took the same size tyres that Richard has and these tyres and then tried the obstacles together, you never just quite know whether you're pairing apples for apples, if you see what I mean. So the upshot of my sort of review here is that I think the Cooper AT3 is a very good tyre. I think it's a good tyre for the money, although they are a little bit pricey now, and I've just had that comment on Facebook too. Down south in America, they're considered to be a budget tyre still, cheaper than the Duratracs, but up in Canada that's not the case. These XLTs were actually $1,000 more money than the Duratracs. So I don't know that they're a budget tyre, and I can tell you that the performance on road is outstanding and the wear rate is outstanding, given that even if you say 15,000, even if you say 14,000 miles, only 230 seconds in 14,000 miles is very good, especially on gravel roads and all the stuff that I've been doing. So so you know, that's a big consideration. And I know the Duratracs don't last that long, sort of 20,000 miles and it's all over with a set of Duratracs. I've had them on. I must say though, that said, that the Duratracs I had were 255 19s, the old Land Rover LR3 size, and that isn't the best size because it's not a 3-peak mountain snowflake tyre, nor is it the right compound, nor is it a 10-ply case, and so that they're not the same tyre at all. So the question now that I'm sort of debating is whether to switch these Coopers for Duratrac, spend $1,000 and try and mimic the sort of conditions that we had before together with Richard, or not. And I don't know whether I should spend $1,015. It's not $1,000, it's $1,500 to sort of get a tyre that may not be as good or may not be that much of an improvement when there's some sort of potential issue with the Defender as it stands, and I've suddenly found out that we're running very different tyre pressures. So you know, should give that a shot really. But so what am I trying to say? In review, I think the Cooper AT3 is a very good all-rounder. The XLT in particular has very hard casings, so you can drop the pressures a lot. Good wear rates on road, good use on gravel, good traction on gravel, good traction on sand, good traction on dirt, relatively speaking. Not as perhaps as good as it could be, but good. Terrible in snow and ice, despite being a 3-peak mountain snowflake tyre. And so really my review after about 15,000 miles has shifted a touch. What I'm trying to say now is they're an expensive tyre that may not be as good in those 3-peak mountain snowflake situations as something more budget like a Duratrac. And with that, thanks very much for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you do like the stuff that I do, please like and subscribe. We've got a bit of a thing happening soon. I'm recording a video fairly soon because we've knocked up 1,000 views, 1,000 subscriber chaps. I can't believe that's happened because I'm just an idiot waxing lyrical about me with Defenders. Oh, I don't know what to tell you about that. Thank you very much, I suppose. But anyway, a little video coming separately for that. So like and subscribe. I do appreciate it. Love the comments, and we'll see you next time. Cheerio.